Produced water naturally exists in underground formations and is brought to the surface during crude oil and natural gas production. This kind of water is acidic and needs to be treated before being charged into river streams or reused in oil and gas extraction sites. Given the scarcity of fresh water in the near future, there is a rising demand for treated produced water to increase productivity for the process of extraction oil and gas from the well and meet stringent government norms to control the discharge of produced water directly. According to Transparency Market Research, the produced water treatment will reach $187.4 billion by the end of 2031, representing a compound annual growth rate of 5% from 2021 to 2031. The Permian Basin is one of the most prolific crude oil and natural gas basins in the world, spanning more than 75,000 square miles across West Texas and New Mexico, and is the top basin in the United States concerning drilling activity, production growth, and economic returns to operators. Given the high produced water to oil across the basin at 5.9 to 1, produced water is considered a critical factor in increasing the productivity of oil and gas operators in the Permian Basin. Additionally, according to Wood Mackenzie, produced water handling costs comprise up to 40% of producers' total lease-level operating expenses in the Permian Basin. For cost effectiveness, many operators are now increasingly outsourcing third parties to handle their produced water. Aris Water Solutions is the largest player amongst these third parties and the only independent pure-play Permian infrastructure company in the public market. Aris generates revenues from produced water handling and water solutions services. For produced water handling, it gathers, transports, and handles produced water generated from oil and natural gas production. For water solutions, Aris supplies produced water from third parties and its produced water handling business to oil producers for new well completions. In the first 9 months of 2021, Aris generated revenue of nearly $162.3 million, up 28% year-over-year, in which produced water handling contributed about $133.6 million, representing 82% of total revenue, while water solution revenue hit $28.7 million, accounting for 18% of total revenue. Record total water volumes and recycled water volumes of 961,000 barrels per day and 130,000 barrels per day, respectively. As the market leader, Aris possesses many competitive advantages to enhance its position in the long term. First, Aris has an extensive infrastructure asset footprint in the Permian Basin, including more than 640 miles of produced water pipelines, 48 water handling facilities, and 10 high-capacity produced water recycling facilities. These assets comprise the infrastructure network of choice for many of the leading operators in the Permian Basin. This represents both significant barriers to entry for new entrants and a competitive advantage over existing competitors that may have smaller or more divided pipeline systems, operate in other basins or less prolific areas of the Permian, or cannot provide full-cycle water management solutions. Second, Aris has a strong customer base amongst its peers. Aris' largest customers include ConocoPhillips, Occidental Petroleum, ExxonMobil, Marathon Oil, and Chevron. These five represented approximately 76% of its revenues. In addition, its top 3 customers accounted for about 28% of northern Delaware oil production and approximately 21% of total Delaware and Midland production. In the future, Aris revenue growth is strongly backed by the tailwinds from oil market growth. The U.S. Energy Information Administration projects that the Permian will produce about 6.3 million barrels per day of oil by the end of 2024, a compound annual growth rate of 11% from 2021 to 2024. That said, produced water would hit roughly 37 million barrels per day by the end of 2024. While the current capacity of Aris accounts for only 3% of the current total produced water in the basin, we believe there is ample headroom for the company to grow in the long term.